Hey guys, Joel here for Fit for Long Run, and today I just finished up with a 4 minute, I just finished up with a 4 mile recovery run after my long run on Sunday. And today's Wednesday. I missed my, usually do a recovery run on Tuesday. I missed it yesterday. Had some doctor's appointments, things I had to get to. But anyway, today is going to be a little bit different in our Nerdy Runner series. We're not going to be talking about races or running or anything like that, except the fact that I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Christmas songs that I like to run to. So we're going to talk about that. Let's go inside. Welcome inside, and now like I said, we're not doing a typical Nerdy Runner video today. We're not going to be talking about races or anything like that, or running or anything like that per se. This is kind of an extension of my running, but remember I did a top 10 list of my favorite songs that I never skip back a few months ago, and for the Christmas season I wanted to do one on Christmas songs that I put on my playlist. Now Christmas songs doesn't always mean that I just listen to them at Christmas. Sometimes I break them out in July just to kind of break it up a little bit. Maybe think it's Christmas when it's 100 degrees outside and 100% humidity. So anyway, we're going to run these down. These are my 10 favorite. I'm going to do some honorable mentions because I have some that could have made the list, and these are in order that I prefer them. However, any of these could switch any number. Any of the honorable mentions could be on the list because they're just what I like, and I really like those. So coming in at number 10 is not necessarily, and there's two songs on here, not necessarily Christmas songs, but they're either a part of a Christmas movie or they have something about holidays in them. So kind of like, if you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then this is kind of that same thing. So what?
No, it's not.
I'm gonna get some comments, aren't I? Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Drop me those comments below and tell me your reasons why you think it is. So anyway, number 10, not necessarily a Christmas song, but it is Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham. It's actually from the original Christmas Vacation soundtrack. But I really like that, to listen to that during the holidays. It's really upbeat, and sometimes I pull it out like put it on different playlists that don't have anything to do with Christmas. And but I really like that. Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham. Number 10 is There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays by Perry Como. And I'm going to do these as artist specific because there are specific songs I like by specific artists. Now you can hear most of these songs by pretty much any artist. If you just Google the name of the song, there'll be a list of songs. There'll be a list of that song by different artists, and then you can pick whichever one you like. But most of these are songs that I like specifically by this particular artist. And this is one of them. There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays by Perry Como. If you don't know who Perry Como is, he was a singer back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He had a really good voice. Look this one up. No Place Like Home for the Holidays. At number 8 is I Have Seen the Light. Now, I don't have this one by a specific artist. Well, I do, but it's not really... I heard it first on a demo that we were doing as a choir, and I never could find that version. So I've really been struggling trying to find a version that I really like. This one's the closest one that I found, but it's I Have Seen the Light by Chris. I'm assuming that's Machen or Macon. It's M-A-C-H-E-N. But that's the song I Have Seen the Light, and that's the artist that I more than likely going to listen to it because that's the one that's closest to the one that I like, that I heard a few years ago. All right, number 7 is Jingle Bells by Frank Sinatra. Now, this is a different take on Jingle Bells. He does sing Jingle Bells during the song, but there's another part that goes with it, and I've spelled it out because that's the way they sing it in the kind of the beginning of the song is Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells by Frank Sinatra. Look that one up. It's pretty cool. I like that one a lot. Number 6 is another song that is not particularly a Christmas song, but it is in a Christmas movie, so I count that one. Again, it's the Die Hard effect. So I'm gonna start using that. It's the Die Hard effect. So anything can be Christmas as long as it's somewhere, somehow, any type of associated with Christmas. This one is from the movie White Christmas, and it's The Best Things Happen While You're Dancing by Danny Kaye. If you haven't heard that song or if you haven't seen that movie, take a look at it this Christmas season. It's a pretty good song. I've liked it for a while, but I really like it because when we lived back in Tennessee, we were in theater, and we did, which is also Christy's favorite. She's right over there. It's Christy's favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's Christmas, White Christmas, and we were able to be a part of a production of White Christmas back in 2014, I think. That's been a long time ago. And our son played Danny Kaye's part, and he got to sing this song and dance to it. That one's a little special. It's The Best Things Happen While You're Dancing by Danny Kaye from the movie White Christmas. All right. Number 5 is a newer song. It's probably from about the last 10 years. But it is called City of Silver Dreams by Sugarland. Sugarland was a country group. I don't think they're together anymore, but it was a country group back a few years ago, and they came out with a Christmas album called Gold and Green, and this was one of the songs on there was City of Silver Dreams. It's pretty cool. It's a song about Christmas in New York City, and give it a listen. It's pretty cool. Number 4 is Same Old Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg. This one came out in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. It's always been a favorite of mine through the years, but it does have to do with Christmas, although the title is based on the Old Lang Syne, which is usually sung at New Year's, on New Year's Eve, but it is a Christmas song because it's based, he talks about Christmas Eve in the song. And so that's number 4, Same Old Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg. Number 3 is Happy Holidays, the Holiday Season by Andy Williams. Now, there is another song called Happy Holidays by Bing Crosby, I believe it is. But this is not the same one. It's kind of the same one. It's got some of the same tunes. It's got some of Happy Holidays in it, but it also fuses with the holiday season and makes a totally different song. But it's really good. Happy Holidays, the Holiday Season by Andy Williams. Check it out. Really like that one. All right, number 2 is a remake of an old Christmas hymn from way back in the day, probably the 1800s, probably 1800s. But it's I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day by Casting Crowns. Check that one out. It's really cool. They put a different tune to the old hymn, I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. It's kind of I don't know. I kind of explained it as a wintry sounding song, but it's I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day by Casting Crowns. And then number 1, no, I'm not going to do number 1 yet. We're going to do some honorable mentions before we get to the number 1. To the number 1 song, my favorite Christmas song that I use on my playlist. Honorable mentions are, and like I said, some of these could be on the list because these are on my playlist, so they could be on the list at any time. But one of them is, the first one is Where Are You Christmas by Faith Hill. That's from the Grinch movie. If you've heard that one, seen that movie. The next one is Christmas in Dixie by Alabama, another country song from back in the day, probably back in the 80s. The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole. A lot of people know it as Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. That song by Nat King Cole. Winter Wonderland. Now, this one is artist specific because a lot of people sing this song. But the version that I'm most likely will listen to and gets the honorable mention today is Winter Wonderland by Tony Bennett, featuring Count Basie and his big band. So that one's pretty cool. Give that one a listen. And then the last honorable mention is It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Andy Williams. Again, artist specific, just because that's the version I really like to listen to. All right, so I know you're wondering, you're waiting, you're wanting to know what my number one Christmas playlist song is, and I'm going to tell you it is my favorite Christmas playlist song, but it's not on any of my playlists. I don't know why. I just haven't added it yet, but it is my favorite Christmas song, and it is White Christmas by Bing Crosby. So that's it. I need to go ahead and add that to my playlist this week, so so I can get it in the mix. But it's not on any of my playlists yet. But it is White Christmas by Bing Crosby. So thanks for joining me today and indulging with me on this kind of step out from what we normally do on the Nerdy Runner. Drop me some comments below and let me know what your favorite Christmas songs are that you listen to when you run, when you walk, when you work out, or just your favorite Christmas songs in general. I'd love to hear those as well. There's a lot that I left off the list. And I know some of you may have some comments out there that may strike a chord with and say, you know what, all right, you know what, I forgot about that one. And I'd love to hear those in the comments below. But that's going to do it today for the Nerdy Runner, Fit for the Long Run. I'm Joel. Don't forget it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace. Merry Christmas!